Alright, welcome to the video today. So in this video, ever since like the announcement of custom games, I've kind of wanted to make a video on this. I'm not quite sure if I should have, perhaps earlier. Obviously, the announcement only came around 4 to 5 days ago, but I wanted to talk a little bit about how useful Gunslinger is going to be moving forward, specifically in 4v4s, because I feel like that's going to be kind of the game mode that takes over as like kind of the main event. Obviously, for the past year or whatever, we've been hosting tournaments. The big game mode that pretty much all the tournaments have been hosted around is 3v3, and with that comes the same team of 3 playing every single time. And I feel like it's going to be interesting to see those same exact really good teams of 3 pick up a different fourth person and kind of see how it goes. So I feel like that's going to be interesting just by itself. But with that, and with the addition of actual objective based game modes, because for this whole entire time we've been playing pretty much kill confirm, or not kill confirmed, TDM, 3v3 TDM on random assorted maps. And I feel like the meta as a whole might change. We don't really know. Obviously, I can't look into the future, but I feel like we're going to see a lot of pulse rifles, just because of how consistent they are. And I think the general team composition that you're going to want to go for is 2 panic supers and 2 roaming supers. So Gunslinger and Stormcaller with Striker and Voidwalker I feel like is going to be really good. Obviously there's like different combinations you can go for, but I feel like we're going to see a little bit of a shift in classes being used. And I've been using Gunslinger for this past 3 to 4 days, just trying to get used to it again, because I feel like if I can get good at it again like I used to be, I used to play Gunslinger. If you're kind of unfamiliar with this and maybe you haven't been following the channel for a while, for the first 3-4 months of Taken King, I only played Gunslinger, and I got to the point where I was actually really good with throwing knives, trip mines, and just the subclass as a whole. And then eventually, obviously, I got my hands on a Warlock, and I ended up playing that for a while. But I really want to get used to Gunslinger again, and it kind of reminds me of year 1, because in year 1 I played Gunslinger and I used an ambush sniper, and I've been using short gaze snipers for this whole entire time. And just going back to the stuff that I used to use like a year ago is really refreshing for me. And I feel like I hope it works, and I hope I can use this in 4v4 and that it's actually useful and not something that I'll just play as a novelty for it to be fun to play but not actually do anything for the team. But having the ability to pop a super and completely stop a push from pretty much unlimited range, I feel like is going to be strong about the subclass. Trip mines obviously got nerfed. I feel like they're slower too. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it feels like the activation on them is a lot slower, so I have a really hard time hitting people with it. So recently what I've done is I switched to incendiary nades, and I feel like if we're if we're playing 4v4 zone control and that's like the main thing, like the main game mode, if people are hopping on flags, the incendiary nades are pretty easy to throw or chuck or whatever on a cap point, and they explode relatively quickly. So I think nades are going to be good for Gunslinger. I think throwing knives are pretty much going to have no influence on the end result of the game, which kind of sucks, because you have melee abilities for all these different subclasses, right? You have 134 damage with additional perks on a Voidwalker melee. You have Flame Shield on a Sunsinger. You have like 160 damage melee on a Striker, and you have all these different subclasses with really good melees. And obviously, Night Stalker has Smoke, and Blade Dancer has the really nice lunge on Blink Strike. But with Gunslinger, you pretty much have nothing. And I'm kind of curious, obviously, like I said, to see how it plays out. But as far as like the general kit of the Gunslinger, you have a decent nade. If you get good with incendiary, it's actually really good. But a pretty good nade, a not so good melee ability, a really strong super potentially. But when I say potentially, it's not like a smash, right, where you're pretty much guaranteed to kill every time, unless obviously you choke it really hard. With Nova Bombs and smashes, usually it's at least 1 to 2 kills every single time, and they're a lot easier to pop because you don't have to sit behind a corner, pop your super, and then roam around and try to find someone. All you have to do is push up, find someone on you, and then use it. Gunslinger is going to be a little bit different, and that's the main reason it was so bad in 3v3s, because the neutral game is bad, and when you're playing against really strong tournament teams, if they hear a golden gun, all they have to do is hide behind a corner with a shotgun, and if you push them, they're gonna shotgun you before you can golden gun them, and it just doesn't work out. I do want to mention though, I really like the movement ability. Some people like using triple jump personally, and I think kind of universal amongst like topper tiered players. A lot of them prefer using double jump with increased control. You can move really fast with it, and you have really nice lateral movement, going up, down, side to side, that whole sort of thing. And if you use last word, it's really easy to jump shot people. And if someone's coming around a corner, all you have to do is jump straight up in the air and you can primary them. And it throws a lot of people off because in a warlock dominated meta where you don't see a lot of hunters, people kind of get surprised when you can, 1 second be on the ground and then the next second be way up in the air. And I feel like that alone is kind of a nice little, element of surprise or whatever. And if you get really good at using double jump and being able to primary or shotgun or whatever while you're double jumping, obviously that's going to work out well. And additionally, all hunters have that same exact jump. But I feel like, as a strength for the gunslinger, I feel like you're not really, encouraged to use your abilities while you're in midair. I find myself when I'm on a Night Stalker, whenever I jump up in the air, all I want to do is throw smokes and nades at the ground. But when you're playing Gunslinger, you have such limited abilities to the point where you never want to go for the melee. You never want to go for the nade kill. Most of the time, you're just primarying. And if you can get a good primary shot and a good secondary shot, you end up doing really well because if you rely on your nades and your melees and your shot gets bad, you have nothing else to save you. But nades are going to get you kills from time to time, and melees are going to get you kills from time to time. But the one thing that for sure is never going to truly fail you, like you can't goose with it, is if your primary and your secondary shot, whether it be sniper, shotgun, hand cannon, pulse rifle, whatever it is, if you have a good shot with it, you're almost guaranteed to at least do decent. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I still think Gunslinger is a good class. It's just been a little bit nerfed without justification, I guess. I hope to see it buffed back to how it used to be. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Peace.